I don't automatically dismiss alternative viewpoints as conspiracy theories or cocky pook or whatever, okay? Poppycock. But I don't automatically dismiss mainstream theories. I don't automatically dismiss alternative theories. But with someone like John Rappaport and like-minded, I would ask them this that I'm seeing on World News tonight. And this app happens, it could be anybody across the United States, but it does happen to be a doctor from Newton, Massachusetts. And how do the people like John R., who totally say this, it's impossible to determine if a new virus is in the body with that test, since the test is flawed, blah, 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 whatever. How do they account for this, where doctors across the country are saying they're seeing an unprecedented, like historical, unprecedented amount of patients coming into hospitals with flu-like illness or pneumonia? Unprecedented, historical, okay? If it's not a brand new virus, how do they account for that? You know? That's what I would like to know. Those numbers can't be dismissed with, well, people get sick all the time, people die all the time, yeah. But this isn't being spaced out. And real doctors and real nurses, whatever, right, are saying that the hospitals soon are going to become overwhelmed. And this is the kind of stuff that Joe and I talk about, that I bring up with Joe, and he's like, I don't know, That's what I would like to see, as some alternative addressing that, explain that. That's reality, According to the CDC, I guess 80,000 people last year died from the flu in the United States. Okay? If that's true, and 600,000 across the world, right? Give or take. But again, we're not hearing about hospitals being overrun. We're not hearing about it become, you know what I mean? So those are obviously spread out, whereas this is becoming, worse and worse. You know, that's where my mind's at. Let's see what he has to say. I put it on closed caption. Okay, so let's bring in Dr. Todd. I have to make that bottom go away first. Takes a minute for that bottom to go away where it's showing the time and everything. Hospital seeing unprecedented number of patients. Let's bring in Dr. Todd Ellerin, Director of Infectious Diseases. First off, thank you, but it's going too fast. It said he's from Newton, Massachusetts, just so you know. Basically, I'll be honest with you, when I first started reading all these articles, when this first was we heard about it from China and said whatever. John Rappaport, what he was saying was making a lot of sense, and he has a lot of background. He's been studying this shit for 20 odd years, but he's not explaining this surge in cases where hospitals are being overrun. You know, if this wasn't a new virus, then why would this not happen every fucking year always, you know? That's what I have. That's my question. Because he basically has an answer for everything, but he has not thus far answered that. At least not to my satisfaction or to Joe's satisfaction. Not that we don't still think he has good things to say, but it doesn't explain this. Because he'll even pretend he's you, and he'll say, you're the naysayer, he'll say, but people are dying. People die all the time. But this, but that, yeah. Explain this. Explain the hospitals being overwhelmed with numbers of cases. If this wasn't a new virus, why would that be happening this year as opposed to it didn't happen other times, you know? So, I don't have an answer for that. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just saying. Alright, here we go. Alright, reports are coming in from doctors across that hospitals are about to be overwhelmed. Where the hell did he say he's from Newton, Massachusetts? I'm getting pissed. Back now with a report from the front lines in the fight against the coronavirus. Reports are coming in warning that hospitals are about to be overwhelmed. Hospitals are seeing an unprecedented number of patients. How does John Rappaport and other like-minded people explain that? I haven't looked at my email lately. Maybe he will explain that. I don't know. Let's bring in Todd Ellerin. He's from Newton, Massachusetts. He said it earlier. Maybe he said it before the commercial. Dr. David Moore. You know. Director of Infectious Diseases. First off, thank you for joining us. I know you're incredibly busy. Take us into the ERs. What are you seeing right now? Unprecedented number of flu-like illnesses and pneumonia. Basically, what we're seeing is record-breaking numbers of patients coming in with flu-like illnesses and pneumonias. Again, record-breaking. And I go back to the same fucking shit next time I talk to Joe. But I talked to Joe almost 3 hours Thursday night and a couple hours last night. So I'm all Joe'd out for a while. Remember, he always brings in the big picture and the Bible and the Anunnaki, you know, the running the show. You know, those are the extraterrestrials who created us in a lab, and doesn't mean there's not a God. Joe believes 100% in God too. But anyway, that gets overwhelming for me after a while listening to Joe talk about that. So, Joe and I also agree this is the reality we're living in. Doesn't matter if people like John Rappaport dismiss it all, it's still affecting the world, and that's how it is, and you know. On the front lines, hospitals seeing unprecedented number of patients. Okay, much worse or worse than we usually see in mid-March. Yeah, no shit. Apparently there are some people, that Joe was saying, that believe, since this virus apparently does better in cold or whatever, it won't thrive as much when it gets warmer, and the cases might, hopefully go down. Hospitals see an unprecedented number of patients. Okay. Take us into the air. What are you seeing right now? Basically, what we're seeing is record-breaking numbers of patients coming in with flu-like illnesses and pneumonias. And obviously, a lot of those people have the flu and pneumonia and don't have coronavirus. But, you know that. But this is something we don't usually see in mid-March at the end of the flu season. And we're now seeing unprecedented numbers of flu-like, they repeated themselves, illness and pneumonia. There's been a lot of back and forth about a nationwide website to figure out where to go for drive-through testing locations. Can you talk to us about that? I think the testing is really everything right now because we have to figure out which patients have the COVID-19 and which don't. That's what Dr. something or other, the chief medical advisor for Channel 5 News, is saying. We have to figure out who has the coronavirus and who doesn't. Why? Because we have to isolate those patients so they don't spread the virus. From one person to another. As I already told you, what I learned about this virus is it's highly contagious, but also you can show no symptoms, present no symptoms whatsoever, which is why Trump needed to be tested. He apparently got tested. He's waiting for his results. He got tested under pressure. He didn't want to get tested, but and be giving it to other people. So testing is the utmost importance. Testing is imperative, and if they don't have enough tests or enough people to conduct the tests, or one place was saying we don't have enough masks and protective gear for the people to do the test. We don't want. That's not fair to them either. They need to be protected from the virus while they're helping other people determine whether or not they have the virus at all. Bottleneck problems connected to testing. He's saying we don't have enough people around to do the testing, I think. Again, he's representing all of the United States, but he does happen to be in Newton, Massachusetts. Just saying. All right. Need to determine what they have so they don't spread it. Virus from one person to another. To have websites or centers around that are able to test, that is critical so we can diagnose, isolate, and figure out the close contacts. All right, doctor, thank you for that. All right, so there you have it. There's going to be another special on 10 o'clock 2020, Monday night, and I'll end with this. I had a dentist appointment scheduled, just a cleaning, so not an emergency or anything. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do I really want to go to the dentist? I've heard that they might have they might not have a mask. Maybe they're suffering a shortage of masks. Plus, my mother is undeniably in the vulnerable group, right? So why do I want to do? It's better to err on the side of caution. So I decided to call, because I need to call ahead of time. If you don't cancel, you're subject to, unless you have a real good reason, a $75 cancellation fee, and that's pretty steep, okay? One time I killed myself getting there. I didn't want to have to pay $75, I missed the bus, I walked, I did what I had to do to get there. So I got the answering service, and I started with, even though I'm very healthy, extremely healthy, and relatively young or whatever. I'm not in that vulnerable group, but I live with my mom who is, and I think I should err on the side of caution and not keep my dental cleaning appointment. I was feeling bad about it, and she goes, "Oh, they're not taking patients anyway." And I'm like, were they going to tell me? I leave very early to get there, and I would have gone there for nothing. So there you have it. And they're erring on the side of caution too. And they don't have to, but they are. So I decided, it's the best thing to do. I told my mom, you're better off just staying here, staying home. It's not like I go to work. It's not like I go. I don't go many places. I do go grocery shopping, and I do, but I mean, I don't really go many places. I'm not going anywhere. Better that everybody errs on the side of caution, actually, but particularly, you know, I'm not in the danger group at all. I don't have any underlying health conditions whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing. I'm fortunate in that. Okay? That's certainly not the case for, I don't know how many percentage of people my age in their early 50s do have a whole bunch of underlying health conditions, have problems with whatever, but I don't. I have nothing. Not that I know of anyway. And my mom's pretty healthy too, but still, she's still 73, and I'm sure she's had to be on so many antibiotics and stuff. She gets UTIs, so I'm sure she has compromised immune system, but I try to keep her healthy, and that's it. Bye.